Divine One, what if I told you that the wait is officially over? That the delay you thought was endless was actually leading you to a divine appointment? Have you ever felt like God was making you wait forever? Like he was silent, distant, or just taking his time? But what if the wait wasn't punishment? What if it was preparation for something beyond what you imagined? There was once a man who prayed every single night for a breakthrough. He asked, he fasted, he pleaded, but nothing. Years passed, and he almost gave up. Then one evening, while running a simple errand, he bumped into a stranger who started a conversation. That stranger ended up giving him an opportunity so massive it changed his entire life. It was the answer to his prayers, delivered at an unexpected time, in an unexpected way. Divine One, the wait wasn't in vain. Your time has come, and the meeting that will change everything is closer than you think. Stay with me till the end of this video, because today we're unlocking the 7 signs that prove your waiting season is officially over. By the end, you won't just feel inspired. You'll know that something big is about to happen, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not delay. Habakkuk 2:1. The heavy cloud of delay has lifted. Divine One, have you ever felt like you're running in place? Like no matter how hard you push, pray, or plan, something invisible keeps holding you back. It's frustrating, almost like being stuck in spiritual quicksand. But then one day, something shifts. You wake up with a sense of lightness, as if an unseen burden has finally been lifted. You may not be able to explain it, but you feel it. A change in the atmosphere, a stirring in your soul. Guess what? That's not just a feeling. It's a spiritual breakthrough in motion. Everything in the physical world is a reflection of what happens in the spiritual realm. Sometimes what looks like bad luck or stagnation is actually a period of refinement, a time when God is strengthening you for what's ahead. But then the shift happens. The weight you carried, whether it was doubt, fear, or unseen opposition, begins to chains that held you back in ways you couldn't understand are now being shattered. Humor break, and no, this isn't the universe playing a celestial prank, making you wait just for fun. It's divine timing finally stepping in like, all right, let's go. The signs your breakthrough is here. 1. You feel unexpected peace. Anxiety that once consumed you, gone. Even if your situation hasn't fully changed, you sense a deep calm, as if heaven itself is whispering, trust me. 2. Opportunities start appearing. A door that's been shut for years suddenly swings open. A long-lost connection reaches out. That dream job, relationship, or chance you've been praying for. It's closer than you think. 3 things that once drained you no longer have power over you. That toxic relationship, old habit, or limiting belief, it suddenly feels irrelevant. You're not forcing yourself to let go, you just know it's time. 4. Unexplainable joy. You wake up with excitement, as if something good is coming, even if you have no logical reason to feel that way. That's your spirit sensing the shift before it manifests. 5. Divine connections. Someone walks into your life, seemingly by chance, but it's not coincidence. That person carries wisdom, a message, or an opportunity that aligns with your breakthrough. Divine One, when this happens, don't doubt it. The breakthrough is already in motion. Stay in alignment, trust the process, and move forward with faith. Because what's coming? It's bigger than you imagined. Your time is now. 2. You keep seeing divine confirmations everywhere. Imagine you're going about your day, maybe sipping your morning coffee or stuck in traffic, when suddenly you glance at the clock. 11:11. Later, a receipt total comes to $7.77. Then a random stranger tells you something so specific and uplifting that it feels like they've read your journal. Coincidence? Nope. God is speaking. God doesn't always communicate through a loud, booming voice from the clouds that would be pretty epic. Instead, he uses subtle, consistent nudges, divine winks, to remind you that he's near. Repeating numbers. Angel numbers like 1111, 333, or 777 often appear when you're aligned with a divine shift. 1111, a reminder to step into your higher calling. 333, the Trinity's got your back. 777, a spiritual jackpot, favor, and completion. Words from strangers. Ever had someone tell you exactly what you needed to hear? It's like God hijacked their vocal cords just to bless you. Sermons, songs, and billboards. That random sermon clip on social media with song lyrics that hit differently. Even a billboard that seems weirdly relevant. Yep, that's God dropping breadcrumbs. Why these signs appear when these winks become frequent? Something is shifting in your favor. You're entering a new season. Doors are opening, and God is preparing you for something bigger. You need encouragement. Sometimes we feel forgotten, but God uses signs to remind us He's still working behind the scenes. You're on the right path. These confirmations often come when you're stepping into your purpose. But what if you ignore them? God is persistent. If you miss the first sign, don't worry. He'll send another and another until you finally get the message. At this point, even a fortune cookie could confirm your destiny. You will soon step into greatness. Well, duh. God's been telling you that all week. How to respond, acknowledge. Instead of brushing it off, recognize it as a divine message. Pray on it, ask God what He's trying to tell you. Act in faith if He's nudging you towards something. Take a step, even if it's small. God is always speaking. The question is, are you paying attention? Stay alert, Divine One. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. 3. You're meeting people who feel familiar, yet you just met them. Ever met someone and instantly felt like you've known them forever? No awkward introductions, no forced small talk, just a deep, unexplainable connection. That's not a coincidence, Earth Angel. That's a destiny connection, and it's one of the ways God aligns us with our greater purpose. A destiny connection is a divinely orchestrated encounter with someone who plays a significant role in our spiritual growth, healing, or purpose. These people arrive at precisely the right moment, sometimes to guide us, sometimes to challenge us, and other times to simply remind us who we are. Scientific fact. Studies in neuroscience suggest that our brains recognize familiar energy patterns. When you meet someone who feels familiar, it may be because their energy resonates with yours at a deep subconscious level. Could this be science catching up to divine wisdom? Maybe. How to recognize a destiny connection. 1. Instant comfort. You feel at home like you've known them forever. 2. Perfect timing. They appear just when you need guidance or clarity. 3. Mutual growth. They inspire you to evolve spiritually, mentally, or emotionally for unforced flow. The relationship unfolds naturally, no struggle, no chasing. And let's be clear, running into your ex at the grocery store. That's not divine timing, that's just an unfortunate alignment of bad decisions. Why God sends destiny connections? God places people in our lives as mirrors, mentors, and motivators. Some teach us patience, others remind us of our worth, and a few help us break cycles we've been stuck in. Even those who hurt us serve a purpose. Sometimes pain is the divine nudge we need to change. A destiny connection doesn't always mean a lifetime connection. Some people are seasonal teachers, not permanent fixtures, clinging to what's meant to be temporary. Can block new blessings. Discernment is key. Some people arrive and make such a beautiful impact on your life. You can barely remember what life was like without them. Anna Taylor. So, Divine One, trust the process. The right people will walk in at the right time. Not a second too early or too late. Stay open, stay aligned, and most importantly, leave the X in aisle 7 where they belong. 4. The things that used to drain you no longer have power over you. Divine One, have you noticed how the battles that once consumed your thoughts don't seem to faze you anymore? Those restless nights spent overanalyzing, replaying arguments, or stressing over situations beyond your control? Suddenly, they don't hold the same power. That's not a coincidence. It's a sign, a big one. When life shifts, your focus shifts. If the things that once kept you up at night now feel like background noise, it means your spirit has leveled up. You're no longer operating in the same frequency as those old battles. It's like graduating from high school drama to real-world wisdom. Remember how back in the day, a single text message could ruin your entire mood. Now, someone could write a whole novel of negativity, and you just sip your tea and move on. That's growth. That's elevation. Psychologically, when we move past certain stressors, it's because our brain has restructured the way it perceives them, the prefrontal cortex. The part responsible for decision-making becomes stronger, making emotional reactions less intense. Spiritually, this means you're aligning with a higher calling. You're not here to fight small battles. You're being prepared for something greater. Imagine trying to fit into an old pair of shoes that are 2 sizes too small. Comfortable, right? That's what happens when you engage in conflicts that no longer match your spiritual growth. God is calling you forward. If a battle isn't even worth your frustration anymore, take it as confirmation that you've already won. Let go. Move on. Step into the next level. Think of it like this. If drama doesn't feel dramatic anymore, you've outgrown it. Ever rewatched an old reality TV show and thought, why did I ever care about this? That's your spiritual maturity kicking in. What used to trigger you now feels trivial. That's power. The distractions are fading because your focus is shifting towards something bigger. Elevation requires clarity. You can't hear divine direction if you're still tangled in old noise. So, if you find yourself unbothered by what once shook you, take a deep breath and say, thank you, God. I see the shift. You're not losing interest. You're gaining vision. Keep going. Divine One. The best is yet to come. 5. You feel a strong urge to step out of your comfort zone. Have you ever felt an unshakable nudge to do something that makes no logical sense? Maybe it's a feeling to visit a certain place, apply for a job outside your comfort zone, or even strike up a conversation with a stranger. You can't explain it, but the thought won't leave you alone. Well, Divine One, that's not random. It's a divine summons. Throughout history, some of the most life-changing moments have happened when people obeyed these spiritual nudges. Take Philip in the Bible, for example. In Acts 8, he was told to go down a desert road. No details, no explanation, just go. When he obeyed, he encountered an Ethiopian official reading the book of Isaiah. Someone searching for answers. That meeting led to one of the first recorded conversions of a non-Jewish believer. Imagine if Philip had ignored the call. Your divine appointment is often waiting on the other side of obedience. But here's the kicker. Obedience isn't always comfortable. It might mean taking a risk, stepping out in faith, or saying yes when you'd rather say, nah, I'm good. Maybe you're feeling led to start a business, write a book, or move to a new city. Scary, uncertain, and inconvenient. But what if your future business partner, mentor, or life-changing opportunity is waiting in that new place? What if the door that seems impossible to open right now is unlocked the moment you take that first step? Here's the truth: God rarely gives us the full blueprint up front. If he did, we either run away or try to control the process. Instead, he gives us a step at a time, requiring faith, trust, and action. And let's be real, sometimes we misinterpret signals. If you feel an urge to text your ex at 2 a.m., that's probably not divine guidance. That's nostalgia and bad decisions creeping in. Block and move forward. Divine One. But if you feel an inner knowing, a persistent call to step into something new, trust that it's leading you to something greater. Whether it's a career shift, a new relationship, or a chance to impact someone's life, your obedience could be the catalyst for a miracle. So what's the step you've been hesitating to take? Whatever it is, move forward. Your unexpected meeting, blessing, or breakthrough is waiting on the other side. 6. You feel like you're standing at a crossroad. Ever feel like you're right at the edge of something, but you don't know what? Like there's an invisible force nudging you forward, yet uncertainty whispers, what if you're wrong? Divine One, that's because you're at a divine intersection. A moment in your life where your choices hold immense power. At these crossroads, the next step isn't just another decision. It's a pivot point. History is full of these moments. Imagine if Moses had stayed in the palace instead of embracing his calling. Or if David had decided that fighting a giant with a slingshot was too risky. The greatest transformations happen when we stop waiting for clarity and start moving in faith. Fear thrives on hesitation. The longer you stand at the intersection, overthinking every possibility, the more paralyzed you become. Psychologists call this analysis paralysis, the inability to act because you're drowning in what-ifs, but faith requires movement. Hebrews 11:1 reminds us that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That means you won't always see the outcome. You have to trust it's there. Think about Noah. The man was out there building a massive boat when it hadn't even rained. His neighbors must have thought he'd lost it, but Noah wasn't waiting for proof. He was following divine instruction. And when the rain came, the ones who laughed were the ones left outside. Divine intersections aren't always comfortable. Sometimes they require leaving behind familiar places, relationships, or even versions of yourself that no longer fit where God is leading you. The disciples had to drop their nets. They didn't get a detailed itinerary, just 2 words. Follow me. Maybe your divine intersection looks like a new opportunity, a calling you've been avoiding, or a challenge that feels too big. The real question is, will you trust that God wouldn't bring you here without a plan? You don't need all the answers. You just need faith to take the next step. That's where transformation happens. And if you're still hesitant, just remember God never told Noah to wait for clear skies. He told him to start building. So, Divine One, what will you do at your intersection? Will you wait for a neon sign? Or will you trust that the same God who brought you here will guide you forward? Peace replaces anxiety about the future. Divine One, have you ever noticed that the very moment you stop obsessing over something, it finally happens? It's like losing your keys, frantically searching everywhere, flipping over couch cushions and accusing the dog of conspiracy. But the second you stop looking, boom, there they are sitting in plain sight. That's how divine you've waited. You've questioned, you've wondered if you missed a sign or took the wrong path. And then something shifts. Not outside of you, but within. A quiet calm settles in. Not because you have all the answers, but because you no longer need them. You finally trust that God's timing is perfect. See, peace isn't just a feeling. It's confirmation. It's heaven's way of saying, you're right where you need to be. When you stop stressing over the when and how, you create space for God to move. Think about it. How often do we delay our own blessings by clinging to anxiety? Studies in neuroscience show that chronic stress disrupts clear thinking and decision-making. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for logic and problem-solving, literally shuts down under stress. But when we surrender control and embrace peace, our minds realign, and we can actually see the divine plan unfolding. Even in Scripture, we see this theme over and over. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition with thanksgiving present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Notice that peace guards your heart and mind. It's not passive, it's protective. It keeps you from making decisions out of fear or impatience. Now, let's break this down with something we all understand. Food delivery. You place an order. You wait. You check the app every 5 minutes. You start questioning if the driver got lost, if they forgot your extra sauce, if this was even a good idea. And then, right when you finally give up and start rummaging through the fridge, ding dong, it arrives. God works the same way. The moment you let go, trusting that your order is on the way, the doorbell rings. So Divine One, stop refreshing the page of your life. Your blessing is already in motion, and the proof, that unshakable peace settling in your soul. Because when you stop looking at the clock, that's when God knocks. Divine One, the wait was never about delay. It was about alignment. Your unexpected meeting is already scheduled in heaven. The connections, the opportunities, the breakthroughs, they are being orchestrated right now. If you resonated with even one of these signs, get ready. The waiting season is officially over, and your moment of divine alignment is here. Drop a "no more wait" in the comments if you claim it. And remember, Divine One, God's timing is never late. Your breakthrough is on the way. Now go forth and walk in your destiny. Stay blessed, stay awakened, and